All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Azabiel, and I am the Guildmaster of the Guild of Legends, located in the heart of the multiverse. And we are jumping back into Satisfactory because I can't help myself. Here's the thing: I started an entirely new save because I don't know. I like suffering, I guess. But my goal with this save was to go through, and anytime I needed a material for a milestone or for a phase, I would set up a production line to permanently create those materials. Because in the past, the problem I would often have is that I would set up some production lines and then I would handcraft a lot of stuff, and then getting later into the game, I would run into the issue that is not having the materials needed in large quantities later in the game because I haven't set up any of those production lines. So this one is an attempt to kind of remedy that issue. Right now we're actually setting up the production line for the steel beams. You can see on my milestone at the top right there, steel beams are the only material I haven't put into this milestone, so that made them next on the list. And I've done most of the production line for these steel beams. This is sort of my foundry area, partially feeding into the space elevator and partially producing materials for other things. Down there is my production line for steel pipes. And then just below this, where I was just at, is going to be for my steel beams. So for this, we're going to need some miners. So I'm actually going to change this because I'm going to need a merger that will feed into this. Because this is actually going to have 3 different miners that are feeding into it. This is the first and conveniently the closest. They will be producing 60. So let's see, that's 60. There'll be another 60 there for 120, and then back there there'll be another 60 for 180. So we should be good. And if I want to be like proper about the belt speeds and stuff, I can get away with using one of the Mark 1 belts on here, because that will give it can I'll just do that on the way down, because it doesn't need to be any faster than the maximum that this puts out, which is 60 per minute. That's what these belts carry. So we'll go ahead and put in this miner over here, which is going to feed into the other side here, which I need to give it a midway point. And then the third belt is going to come all the way back here. And for this one, I'm going to elevate it because these ones are pretty close. I will never be driving under those or walking under those. However, this one, there's a lot of open space on the way to it. So we'll go ahead and lift up these belts to where larger vehicles and stuff can fit underneath them in the future when we have those vehicles. Right now, we don't have anything in the way of vehicles because we haven't been prioritizing them. And my main reason for that is the last time I tried using vehicles since Update 7, they were a little broken. They didn't actually, like, their automated pathfinding would not work. They would get stuck immediately. So I've stopped using them, even though I love, they're really, really handy. Setting up production lines across larger spaces so you don't have to run incredibly long conveyor belts. But, you make do with what you got to, with what you have to. And unfortunately, in this case, the conveyor belts were not an option. I'm actually going to change this one so that I can walk underneath here uninhibited, because this is my only way down. Now, this, let's see, it's 60, 180. Yep, so I need the conveyor Mark III here and on these because those go up to 270. The Mark II only goes up to 120, so we need that Mark III for a lot of this stuff. And then we're just going to set up our power lines here. Now the problem here, I bet... Oh, can we reach... I can reach parts of the floor down there, so I might be able to get that pole if I'm down there. Oh no! That was almost bad. My Metal Gear ladder here goes up a pretty long ways. I prefer ladders instead of stairs because you don't have to build such a foundation to make them work. Whereas, like, oh, it's too long. Okay, so this is going to have to come down here first. And then that can connect to there. Now, that will get the foundries their iron. So I'm getting 180. These need 135. So these will be more than taken care of by what comes down there. And that'll be split here. Now the only thing left then is to get 135 coal to feed these foundries as well. So to do that, we're going to need to find a coal production spot. This we can't get yet, even though that would be, let's see, the Mark II 60, that'd be 120. That wouldn't even be enough. We'd need more than one if it's going to be, if it's not pure. These are putting out 60 each, which are going into here doing 45. So I'd have 30 to spare there. If I upgraded these to being 120 apiece, it'd be 240. 240 minus 45. That'd be 150. That could work. I would just need to split these off and then feed them over here. And if I'm doing that from, if it's coming from this side, I might actually switch around my splitters on these to be facing the other way. So right now they are arranged to be fed from the other side. So let's go ahead, splitter here. No, yes, that way. That way. And that way. Now, this one will only need that. This one will need a Mark II. And then it'll be a Mark III feeding into this. I don't have the... Oh, I do have the wall mounts. So I could actually use this as kind of a staging point here. That'll feed into there, and then the... Actually, let's do it right on the edge of the wall here. Not right on the corner. That works. So now I can bring a belt over this way. It's going to have to be a Mark III, so we're going to do this, and we'll have it elevated. so that we can walk over under it comfortably. Now, I don't remember. Can I can attach... So I could attach a merger there. And that could work. So if I do that, then I can just split off both of these belts when I upgrade these to Mark IIs, and then do that. But, you know what would probably make this a lot neater? How do I want to do this? Because I'm kind of thinking if I do that, and then... Let's see, can I... It'd be nice if you could place them right on there. This is a bit of a messy spot, but... Oh, I can't go there. Let's do it like this. We do this. And this. Give it one of these. I think that's good. So this could be 240. Take 120 there. No. Hold on. No, it'll take 90 that way. It will take 240, but I just won't use that much. It'll fill up, and then don't need that then. Like so. All right. Now, for the modular frames I need, my production line for those is back at my headquarters, so I'll head back there. Back at my hub, rather. Since I have room again, I'll go ahead and finish cleaning up these plants that were left behind. Alright, now, how long have I spent in this save? I'm curious. About 18, almost 19 hours. About 19 hours in this save. I play this game way too much. 19 hours in this save. I'm well into phase 2. I believe my production line is still producing that wire coil, so actually means that if the next phase requires that wire, I'll have some excess, but I don't think it does. I think it uses the frameworks, the versatile frameworks, the middle material that I haven't made yet because it requires steel beams. But any excess of the wire coils can just be thrown into the awesome sink to give a pretty good payout in tickets or points for tickets. So even having that still going is fine. I think when I get there, I'm also going to double check on my power supply because I upgraded to an 8 generator coal plant, which It gave me a pretty good excess at the time, but I've been building some stuff since then, so I need to make sure it's still going to be sufficient for my needs. Go ahead and grab those frames. Those are going to be important for the versatile frameworks, the stage, the phase 2 material. I think I'm actually going to have to split that production line off into doing heavy modular frameworks, though, because those are kind of the advanced level of them. Go ahead and store my materials, break down my proteins, and then, breaking down the materials into protein. Just gonna store those for now, because I'm not doing anything with those at the moment. I've got some stuff that I can just drop into here. And then I'm gonna need to make encased industrial beams. Now, I'm handcrafting the encased industrial beams because making them is necessary for getting the production line for the steel beams that I need to make them. So I can't really make a production line for it without having the production line that precedes it. So that is sort of a spot where we're giving into the need to handcraft. Then portable miners, of course, I'm never going to make a production line for those. That would be ridiculous. I don't know if you actually can. I don't know if they're craftable in the assembler. I'm curious now, though. Yeah, I can't make those in the assembler, so it's not even an option. Not that I would anyway. I do want to do a double check here and see. So when I get my steel beams, I can start getting the expanded tool belts, which I already have an empty hand slot anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. I think after I get the steel, I'll probably move on to doing some quartz, so that I can get things like my blade runners to enhance my mobility. But you know what? There was something I noticed that I could do, because I do have some steel beams. Even though I'm not planning to use power switches anytime soon, having that milestone finished does feel nice. Alright, so we'll go ahead and head back, upgrade those miners to where we'll be getting the coal output that we need for both of our steel production lines. And they should both be producing enough that there's a pretty good... even though we'll be using a lot of steel, I think we'll be more than covered with what we need. Because I think we have 2 foundries producing... No, 3 foundries going to 2 constructors. Let's see. Yeah, because I think we have 2 constructors for steel beams. So that'll be 30 per minute, which isn't bad. And then we have 3 for steel pipes, which will be 60 per minute, which is pretty dang good. So when we have things like rotors, which are going to be necessary for us to make a production line for soon. No, not rotors, stators. Those require the steel pipes, so that will be a very important part of that. It'll probably branch off of there. All of that kind of stuff. So we'll put in these miner Mark IIs, and then we're going to check on the wire coils for the phase 2 materials and see if we still need that production line going. Because if that's just producing materials to be burned, I'm not too concerned. I have the ability to make smart splitters now, so I could start setting up awesome sinks on my production lines to where any excess is getting burned and we're getting even more points at a much more rapid pace. But that is a later priority. Setting it up earlier makes a lot of sense because the sooner you do it, the more... the sooner you do it, the sooner you're going to start seeing the benefits of it, right? But again, it's not something that I'm terribly concerned about, so we're not gonna bother with that yet. What I would probably do is set up a anywhere where I have like a bunch of different little factories like I have here. I'm actually going to replace this. I can do an industrial storage here. Now, I just want to pick up this stuff first because I don't want those in the way. So now, these will have a pretty good-sized container for all of the materials to go into. All the pipes will be there. I'm gonna go ahead and just take like 2 stacks because that should keep me covered for anything, any pipes I need. And then production, mine are Mark II, Mark II. So just to double check, those will be producing 120 per minute. That's 240. And if we take if we take 90 off of that, that still gives us 150. And 145 is what we need for our steel beam production over here. So we're going to start seeing more of that coal start feeding into this. Right now it's going to start slow, but these foundries should be filled up pretty quickly. We can actually even kind of, well, no. These have Mark 1s which are doing 60, so yeah, those are good enough. This one is going to be go first, so we should see it going. These should be able to keep up, unless I have a too slow conveyor here. That is a very big part of why this wasn't going. There we go. I was so confused because I was sure I counted things out properly. Now you can see it's starting to fill up. We're going to go ahead and just dump that in there so it can offload that somewhere it needs to go, because we're not going to use those steel for anything. Now you can see it's going. Now you can see this is going. This is filling up the belt much faster because it's a slower belt, but this one needs the full capacity of 145, whereas this only needs a capacity of 90, so it's a Mark II belt, which does 120. All right. So with that, our next step... honestly, why do I even have these on Mark IIs? They only need to be Mark 1s. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not a problem having faster belts. It's just, you know, matching the outputs that you need, which is not even remotely necessary, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so we got our foundries set up to do our steel. So I want to double check on this cable production line. Like I mentioned, yep, you can see these are fully backed up. These are not going anywhere, so we'll tear these down. We'll fully dismantle this production line because it is not necessary anymore. And when we do need the when we do need stuff from here, we can always just make another a different production line. What we can do actually though is we've got stators being produced here at 5 per minute. Honestly, we might be able to increase that. Hold on. We only had it doing 5 because that is what was needed for the production line it was feeding into. That was exactly enough. But it's taking 15 steel pipes. This is making 20. Okay, so yeah, we would have to increase the production of everything to increase this one. But yeah, let's go up here and get rid of the components of this production line that were only necessary for the spools, the advanced, the smart wire or whatever it's called. We're probably going to fill up our inventory here on wire, but it's not too big of a concern, really. We only need these last 2 wires. So we'll just tear down everything else. I'm probably going to just clear out this space and then... Actually, over here, we've already got room. So let's make just a quick awesome sink. We'll give it... I don't know if I'll keep this one around, but we'll just build it as if we would keep it around. And then if we decide not to, we can just tear it down later. So here... Excuse me. Okay, where am I? Here we can throw in a bunch of wire, we can throw in a bunch of cable, and we can throw in all of these. We'll do a stack of each of these too, because I don't need those. We'll throw in our copper here, we'll throw in these, and then we'll continue dismantling this. I know it's not powered, we'll fix that actually right now, so that it can get started on actually burning the materials that we don't need. Because it will take a minute to start processing all that stuff, so we want to make sure it has time while we're building up a stockpile of other stuff to burn, as we are doing quite quickly. Okay, that should be all of it. Yeah, we're gonna keep this for now. This might be useful in the future, but for now it's just a nice little way to get rid of what we have here. This would actually be a really brilliant spot to have a smart splitter right here. Because, as you can see, a lot of this wire is going unused. So if we had its excess going right into the sink, that would be really good. But, let's see. What do we need for a smart splitter? We just need an AI limiter. Let's give us a little crafting bench. Since we're kind of making the whole thing out of this, we'll set up our facilities here. Make an AI limiter. That way we can convert the... oh, hold on. No, that's actually wrong. I need... I can't do it right from here. I need... I need to do this because it's a smart splitter. This is getting 30, 60, so tier 1 works. We can go ahead and connect that there like so. And then we'll just say overflow out of the right. And we're going to do it like this. I think that'll be a really brilliant way to do it. We'll be working. Got to support the homies. You know how it is. For real. Yeah, absolutely. Support the heck out of me. Good to have you lurking, Neff. Thank you for coming by. And then we'll go ahead and throw some more trash in here. Now, yep, as you can see, the main line is backed up, so now it's all being fed into the overflow. So that is going to produce a consistent output of points that'll keep these machines going, so they're always going to be using power, but that is a small cost. Yeah, our capacity is right here, so we're at about 2/3 on our power. So before too long, we'll need to do something about that. But for now, it's just fine. But yeah, as I said, we're gonna go ahead and make our little have this an official stator production line, so that'll be producing 5 per minute. We might seek to expand it in the future, but for now it is doing okay. What's this produce? This is putting out 60, so that's, yeah. So we would need to upgrade that. We would need to double up on all of the buildings here to make it faster, or overclock them. So we're gonna go with what we've got for now. If I want to do more in this area later on, I'll probably have to destroy this. So I'll need to work on my sulfur unlocks to do that. As you see, we're already getting some good progress on our steel beam production. I'm going to take what's there because we can use those. And on my way out, I'm just going to build a little ramp here. Just so that the way is a little bit more comfortable. We're not just jumping off a ledge here. We've got an actual ramp. And of course, I can't leave this alone. And you know, we've got that gap, but I don't care about it too much. I think we're fine. All right, so we're going to go back. We can finish out this blueprint milestone, which might help us with revamping production lines in the future by making blueprints. But I think that's something I'm not going to be too concerned about. It is a little bit more convenient right now being able to just kind of freeform our factories and our production lines. I didn't mean to crouch there. Or I did, but it didn't do any good for me because I didn't get to slide. So yeah, I think our next step is going to be looking at quartz, because if I can get my blade runners, that will cut down on these travel times. For quartz, I'm going to need to find a node first, which probably isn't going to be super close. As you can see, it's taken a minute for anything to pop. There we go. So we would have to go... Oh, looks like I missed a crate. I'll get that later. So I would have to go pretty far for some pure quartz, or for some normal quartz. Even further for pure quartz. But that's not too far from my the spot where I can where I've got the space elevator. Before I go too far, before I forget this, I want to see. I'll need steel beams and modular frames. And honestly, for that, I would probably want to... I should get that going as soon as possible. The problem is I don't have modular frames being made over at my foundry area, and so I'd either have to set up a production line for modular frames there, or I would need to cart modular frames from here. Modular frames? Is that the right... Did I say the right thing? Yeah. Yeah, because this needs 2.5. So I would probably overclock to get 2.5. Because having it going at its slowest pace is fine. 5 per minute will, you know, not take that long, honestly. And then it'd be something like... Let's see, what's 30 steel beams take? Whoops. 30 steel beams would be 2 of these, 120 steel ingots. So it'd be exactly the production line that I set up. I would just have to do a second steel production line, or sacrifice the use of my production line for other things for a little bit, which could be problematic. Because it would take however long it takes to finish the advanced frameworks. I'm getting all these names wrong. Versatile frameworks. Versatile, modular, and then the heavy one is maybe even just called heavy. Yeah, heavy modular frames. I'm rambling, but the point is, it's going to take a bit to get stuff going for this next step of Phase 2. So hypertubes, I have everything I need for that, except for the concrete beams. So I don't have everything I need for that. But I can set that up pretty quickly. Let's see what's it take for these. I've got... I need 24. And just to remind myself, I've got 2 steel beams going, so I got 30. So, ooh. I'm going to want to set up like 2 more full, like, double constructor steel beam production lines. 1 for the versatile framework, 1 for the encased industrial beams. That's going to be kind of a lot. But I might be able to do... I might be able to do one over here, actually. Because I have coal over here in 2 places. One's over here and one over here. Both are currently feeding into my power station. But if I give myself a miner Mark II, I can... Whoops, not 10 of them. If I upgrade one of them to a miner Mark II, I can completely remove one of them from this situation. That is going to involve... Let's see. It's going to involve revamping the conveyor belts as well. So let me see. It's pulling 120 because this is pure. So it'd be 240. So if I revamp it with Mark 3s, we're going to do this first. Going to see as far as we can get with this because we don't have a ton of steel, but this will be necessary first. Because if I can't haul the material fast enough, then it doesn't do me any good having the production line producing faster, right? So we're going to go up here. We will make our portable miners real quick. And then once I get that sorted, actually, maybe I'll see if I can make these encased industrial beams while I'm here too. I can only make 5. So, shoot, that's half of them. So let's make that real quick. We'll get the stuff for this, but then we will worry about expanding the belt first. Or, well, if we have the stuff together, might as well upgrade the miner. So we'll do this real quick because I realize that if I do this, I can bring steel over here as well, which will be really convenient since I need 3 of these steel beam production lines. Having one closer to home will be really convenient. And if I can get that second one built up pretty quickly, then I can get more, I'll have more beams being made so I can use them because the steel beams get used a lot. They are very necessary, especially with the conveyor belts. Like I am going to need hundreds of beams for that coal conveyor belt, which would be solved if I could use trucks, but I don't know if the vehicles are fixed. Maybe we'll test it. We're going to test the truck station to see if the vehicle can work. I don't actually need to make the truck stations immediately. I can just make the tractor. Which I'm able to produce quite easily because I have my production lines for frameworks and rotors and advanced plates and everything, so this is pretty good. We also have to see where I left this crate behind. Because I don't know where that went down. Alright. Good chunk of more. Oh, it's floating, that's why. Alright. Yeah, look at this. This is almost full. Like, setting up a smart splitter to offload these would be a really good idea. Like, offload them into a sink. Okay, what else did I come here for? I came here for the beams. Let's go ahead and make our industrial beams real quick. This will give us a little bit more time to build up some more beams at the factory so that we can grab those on our way through. Yeah, 29 more. Basically got back what I just used. Just about. So, or more than, I think. Because I think it was 20 to make 5. Now, I don't have any good fuel for the tractor right now, but we'll test that when I get back there anyway. Actually, maybe once I get to the top of this hill, I'll see if I can make one when I'm away from these hogs. Because the way back is mostly downhill after this ascent. So that should give us the ability to drive back in comfort. If I have something that I can fuel it with, which I think I do. Oops. Workbench. Vehicle. Ta-da. Yeah, I can use that. And then I can just drive this back. Probably faster than going on foot. Because I have this downhill path to drive through, so... That's pretty good. We're just going to go over to our water area here. By our water area, I mean our generators. And I believe this was the line that I was revamping, so we'll just kind of... We're going to have to do this bit on foot anyway, because we have to keep updating all the belts, so just leave... get rid of the truck for now. The tractor. Need to run on the edges here where I can go full speed. We might about have this. Is that it? That is it. So, cool. So then we'll just put in our advanced, our Mark II miner. We will then go back to our coal plant and upgrade. We'll split off the materials to go to both sides of the plant. And we can kind of get back faster by riding this one. This is carrying a full 320. 270. It's taking a full 270, which is slightly more than the output of the Miner Mark II on a pure node is doing 240. So that gives us a bit of an excess. I think the best way to do this would be just right here. Now it'll just take a second to catch up to where it was, because there was a moment where these belts weren't getting fed. Oh, but look at that. There we go. Power uninterrupted. I was gonna change these out for non-indicator pipes, but I'm fine with the indicators, I guess. I don't really like the indicators, and I would typically do no indicator pipelines, but I'm not gonna bother with it right now. Alright, so that means we can start tearing down this, and we're gonna have a ton of coal that we can just burn in an awesome sink. Which we can do as we pass our main hub. Hopefully, we shouldn't fill our inventory before then, because it is a lot of coal that we are pulling, but it's not that much. But yeah, the nice thing here is that we've now completely removed the need for this coal production. Go ahead and head over here. Because we have a lot of this stuff, so we can get rid of it here. Like so. We can probably start offloading a bunch of these as well, because I'm not actively using these. I'm just getting them from breaking down the belts, which are not necessary anymore. And we do have a production line for that, so we don't have to worry about wasting resources by throwing them away. Because our production line is already capped out anyway. Now, we'll go back here, and what we're going to want to look for is iron in this area. We actually have iron very close. Just up this way, it looks like. Just there, actually. That's normal nodes. Normal nodes over here. We got normal nodes over here. So we got plenty of iron to choose from. We're just gonna have to deal with these guys. Where'd he go? Oh! There he is. And I've lost him again. I missed. Alright, so that guy's dealt with. That is maybe the only one, but there might be two. We also have the potential risk of spitters in the area. You can hear them, but I don't see them. They're probably underground, so we might be okay. Got some room in the inventory, so I'm going to clean up this area real quick, since we will be setting up our new steel production over here. Normal node with Mark II is going to give us 240. So that might be more than enough for just off of one node. Because it's what? It would be 15. And for... hold on. It'd be 15 for... No, 60 steel ingots. So we need 120 steel ingots. 120 steel ingots is going to be 3 of these, which is going to be 145? No, 135? Yeah, 135. So we actually will need both of these nodes. We don't need to make them both advanced, but we could, and then we'll have an excess if we need it later, or if we wanted to do a slight overclock on the production line itself. Yeah, I know I said I was going to do the quartz next, but having this production line to do steel beams will be really handy almost immediately, because we can then set it up to do steel beams. This can be our steel beams production line that we need for the hypertubes. And you know what? I could actually just set this up to be the phase 2 production line, actually. Because if I do that, if I have it doing phase 2 production, then that can get started. And the sooner that that's started, the better. We'll go ahead and clean up this area. If I do make this the spot for my versatile frameworks, then we're going to move the space elevator over here, since we only moved it over to our foundry area, because that's where we were mostly easily able to produce its materials, since all the steel was over there. Yep, so there's probably a cave entrance down there or something that these things are all hiding in. We're not going to worry about them too much. We're just going to build right on top of their home. And if we do encounter them later, having our stuff built here should prevent them from spawning. So if we wipe them out, then we probably won't have to worry about them ever again. Okay, so I'm going to need this. This is going to be the stuff that I need, and we're going to do space elevator as well. So with all of this sorted, we'll go back to our foundry area, tear down the space elevator, and make it again over here. Can I actually just... I don't have the wire for it right now. I want to clean up this area as much as I can, because we're going to be using it pretty... quite a bit of space here. So I want to get rid of the foliage that's going to be in the way. I'm thinking space elevator will go up there. See, I'm going to need to also... just in case I need it... Whoops. Wanted to do a single one. Just in case I need it to make more. Let's see, I need 135 actually. So yeah, this will have to be a Mark II. Which means these belts will need to be Mark III belts. Which, since we're here, we'll do this. Maybe... it's really coming down, huh? Maybe this will clear up a little bit of our inventory. I wanted to pick up that power slug. Oh, we don't have enough to do that. Can we... yeah, we were one short of... oh, hold on. How did this happen? Oh... that makes perfect sense, actually. Here's what we'll do. This one will definitely be temporary. We'll just throw all of those on there. We'll keep 2 of them. And there is another crate up top, it looks like. So we'll grab that real quick. I completely forgot about that. Very easy to forget about these things. How much did that leave me with? Left me with 13. Let's see if I can get a belt of 13. Probably not. But you never know. Get 11. And that one's 19, and then there's no more belts, so... That's fine. That's perfectly fine. We're not too worried about this stuff right now. Because we will have more that we can throw in there to upgrade those belts momentarily anyway. All right, so yeah, we're gonna run back and tear down the space elevator and get us some more steel beams. I don't think the truck is any faster on foot, really. But we do need to test the truck. So we're going to start recording, and we're just going to give it a very simple circuit to run. That'll just go a little ways like this. Now we're going to enable autopilot, and we're going to jump off it and see if it can run this course. Because if it can, that changes things. That means, man, the fact that it's just going, I think, means that they fixed trucks. It could be when I, like, my experience with this was during the experimental version, and they might have fixed it before that was made stable. I don't remember. But yeah, that's a good sign. I've completely avoided it because I thought they were still broken, and I never tested it, which is fully on me. Let's go ahead and we'll just offload a bunch of our trash materials here. It's not trash materials, but it's stuff that isn't actively being used for anything. We'll bring in a bunch of these materials that we do have. Get our proteins. And throw all this stuff in here. I'll worry about setting those up later. Let's go ahead and, you know, actually, I'm going to do those afterwards because I want to make sure I have inventory space. The materials from the space elevator are going to take a lot of inventory, so I want to make sure I get that first. Because otherwise I have to just trash the materials there and then grab them again back on this side. So, okay, so the fact that vehicles work changes how we're going to do some of our production lines. It means that we can set up tractors, because we only currently have tractors. We can set up tractors to run a lot of our materials, like our coal to our power station, for example. I feel like a tractor would be sufficient for that. I might be pushing it with how much it would need to haul, but I think it might be able to handle it. Because it's not a super far distance. And it can stock up on at least, like, it can probably do the circuit between the power station and the coal production within the amount of time that it takes for the power station to burn through a stack of coal in each generator. So as long as it can do that, it is going to be sufficient. So I should build something here just to keep those guys from spawning, because I come through here all the time. And I think the only way to stop enemies from spawning is if there is a powered building in the area. I just don't know what building I would put there. There's not really any... I could maybe put a power storage there. That would technically be a powered building, I think. Since I have power storage, I could also set up a backup power station. All right, space elevator is gone. We're gonna grab a stack of pipes because I only had 3 left. We'll actually grab 2. Yeah, and you can see like here I've got stuff like this. Like I could do this with trucks or something. I don't know. Uh all right, so we need steel beams. So we'll go ahead and grab those real quick. We'll take the whole lot of them. And then we'll head back up. So with the fact that vehicles work again, I'm gonna have to rethink probably multiple of the things that I have set up. Most of what I have set up is in pretty close quarters. The stuff relying on coal is really and not even these ones. Like, I mean, that's a long ways, but that's mostly going down. Like, it's literally right up there, which isn't. Jeez, I didn't realize I was that close to these guys. The foundry area is kind of the exception. Will you stop it? You're not even worth fighting. But like over here, like my power station, for example, had such a huge gap between where the coal was going and where it was coming from. What I might do is set up a backup, like a battery backup station at my coal generators, just to keep all my power in one area, because then it's nice and neat, and I like that. But because I could do a bunch of these. I could do a ton of batteries. And then when I have that, then I can see about experimenting with putting a tractor to haul the coal towards my power station. Because if it starts using my battery power, then that means that the tractor is not fast enough. But if it doesn't use the batteries, then I can confirm that the tractor is sufficient. We'll just have to set everything up and then give it a shot and see how it goes. Alright, so again, we're going to have to handcraft some of these encased industrial beams, but that will be a thing of the past soon. No, it won't. No, that'll still take some time, because I am going to make the space elevator materials go first. Let's see. So, as we're going along here, that's almost enough. Alright, now we need... Yeah, we have inventory space still. We're good. We're going to need some more portable miners, so we'll get that going real quick. Alright. Is there any equipment that I can make that I haven't yet? Parachutes, but I'm not going to bother with those. If I want to avoid falling to my death, I just don't jump. And usually, in my experience, I end up accidentally using the parachutes. Like, I made like 10 of them once and had them equipped, and then I just went through all of them just by jumping like this. Because I think if you hit the jump button while you're in the air, it activates the parachute. And that was a problem because I don't know, I guess I would like double tap my spacebar, or maybe like I would mash my spacebar or something like that. I don't know. But it ended up really not being useful. I completely forgot to grab this. Alright, and we've got a plant here, got a plant here. We're actually going to just tear this one down. Why is that guy down there? Why was he in the poison? That's actually harmful for enemies. Let's see if I can... Floor is too steep up here, so... We'll clear out the area right over there real quick. We'll clear out the area on the way to that too, just because we'll have to, I think. I think we're going to have to make a storage container for all of our important stuff that we're going to need. I actually need that. We'll just do that, and then clean up the area a bit. Do some landscaping. And then, once we get this cleared out, we will make the space elevator. Once the space elevator is up, we can make our iron production line. Our steel production line, rather. Now these stun shots are really good. If you're fighting like a single enemy, especially, because you can just stun them and then just lay into them with the sword and absolutely destroy them. I know it's not a sword, actually, but I will always refer to it as one. Because I want it to be one. You know, something we haven't engaged much with in this save, or at all rather, is hard drives. I haven't gotten a single one in this save. Fortunately, the chainsaw works in such a way that it'll get rid of rocks if they're close enough to what you're cutting down as well, which is really nice. Especially earlier in the game before you have Nobelisk and stuff like that. Before you do any of your like sulfur research. Gives you an option for getting rid of some rocks at least. The only downside is it gives you limestone, which once I have like my concrete production lines and stuff set up, I never do, like, I just can't be bothered actually handcrafting concrete because it's just so slow. Alright, I think I'm gonna finish up this stuff here and then see how we're looking. I might actually just clean up all the way up to here. I mean, I did realize how close it was, but it didn't feel like it was that close. With all of the plants and stuff, it felt further away. But now I can look and see it's gonna be right over there. Because this is right next to my hub. Missed some over here. That tree off to the left, I'm not too concerned about right now. That stuff, I'm just going to leave that for now. Not going to bother with it because it's not really hurting anything being there. It's not really in the way. This place is begging to be just obliterated with explosives. So many rocks. The explosive rebar is, which sounds ridiculous to say, is also really handy, because then you can just destroy rocks at a distance even. Oh, I put all my materials away. Alright, so let me grab my stuff. Need my pipes, I need my wires, I need my rotors, and my concrete. More concrete. Plates, other plates, rods, more rods, these things, all of this, and those. Go ahead and just stuff this real quick, because I don't need any of that. Now let's see where I can put this that is out of the way. Please get out of the way, sir. I think, like, right here will suit what I want it to look like. I can still reach that just like that if I ever needed to, which I don't, because you don't actually have to go there. You know, it's been a while since I've... God, the low graphics version of this thing is just a mess. You're sending down the elevator itself. I like this thing. This thing is cool. It's fun. And it feels like the way that it works feels like it makes sense. Like having the arms with the clamps to kind of just grab a hold of this, not even necessarily like being like bolted in and everything like that, but it's just like grabs it and locks it in. I don't know, man. It's cool. Like, just mechanical nonsense. I love it. Alright. I need to grab the rest of my materials so that I can more easily do stuff. Like anything at all, truly. The trash, I will just leave that all in there for now. I will grab it later. What I can say without a doubt, right out the gate, is that these miners will need to go here. We'll arrange them like that. I might actually have like the production line just go right up there. That might look good. I might like that. If that's the case, then I'm not going to have this go this way. This is no longer necessary. This is going to have to be fully upgraded. And the miner is going to need to be made a Mark II. Now, we'll go ahead and head back to where our miners are set up, because we need to feed into them. Feed them into, let's see, hold on, how do I want to do this? We're going to undo this. We'll figure out how to connect that after we've got everything else sorted. I think we're going to want to clean this up because we might be coming down through this area. Alright, so these are going to need to go into a couple of... Let's see. A couple of foundries. Go ahead and... Ooh, we'll go slightly higher. That should be sufficient. Sort of build our... the basis of our factory platform here. It'll give us the area we can work in. I don't have enough concrete. I can do that. You know, I was just saying I don't... Nah, you know what? I'm gonna stick to my guns. I don't need to actually handcraft concrete because I am literally right next door to my concrete production. As a note, there is work being done outside my apartment, so might be a bit noisy at times. We will try to, I don't know, ignore it, I guess, if we can. Alright, that will be more than enough concrete, but we're going to want to offload all this other trash as well. I am dying to have the Blade Runners. I am so slow without them. Gotten used to it though, so it's kind of... doesn't feel that bad, but knowing that it could be faster is tragic. Alright, let's sort our inventory here and see if we have anything else to burn. I don't think we do, so we'll offload the other stuff into our storage here. We're gonna actually process these things to save ourselves some inventory space. Cool. Now, the platform that I'm setting up should be enough space to make the steel beams. Like, it should be more than enough for that. However, it might not be enough for the versatile frameworks. So we're probably going to have to adjust for that. Or set up a different spot for that. I don't know offhand just yet. Right. Really working out there, huh? Ah, here's the cave entrance. Good to know. I will never visit. I probably actually will. Let's see, you know what? We're not actually gonna build those. I don't actually have my buildings powered yet, so I'm not gonna go in there and engage with them. I should be able to deal with them pretty easily, as long as they're not the bigger, stronger ones. Alright, so iron will come in through here. Cool. Jeez, they're really hammering on something out there. Do stackable. So that'll be for the coal. Might actually have it go on higher because it's going to be coming in through feeding into the, what do you call them? The something or others. That's too close. I need to be able to fit splitters. Is inconvenient. Having that noise. Oh boy. Can I get splitter right here? I can, and that means I can actually get rid of this because I can just feed it right into that splitter. That'll be perfect. So these will go right in this line here. Slap steel ingot onto all of these. And then these will all have bear lifts, and Mark 1s should do it because they only need to each get 45. So these will also get splitters in this orientation. This one, I think we're going to see how this goes. Is that full base? That's not too bad. So that one will be like that. This one, Mark 2 should cover it, and this one, a Mark 1 would cover it. Same thing here. Well, these will all be covered by Mark 1. This will need to be 2. This will need to be a Mark 1. Again, these don't really need to be that particular, but we're going to do it anyway. This needs Mark 3 down here. What if I do it this way? Hold on. That's the way I need to. I need a merger. I don't know why it took me a minute to figure that out. It's 120, so that's going to be Mark 2. And this being Mark 3 will go there. Go ahead and I'll do that so I can easily just walk right up here. Now these are going to feed into two constructors, which means they need to merge and then split. They are putting out 45, so Mark 1 for each of them works. And then a splitter. think that looks about even. Each of these is going to get 60. Hold on. 45, 90, 135. Yeah, so... That's actually slightly off. But it's fine. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and set a power pole for these. Right here should do well. Should look fine. This will connect to that one. So now I need to feed the coal into this. And then once that's going, that'll be doing all of the... it'll be doing the steel beams, which are kind of step 1. I will need an assembler, not 10, just 1. Probably just 1. I'm gonna kind of rework this a little bit. I have to kind of bring it right to the edge here. That is too far. How can I do this? Looks a bit like nonsense, but it gets the job done. These walkways might be revamped in the future. Because they're kind of disgusting, kind of terrible, kind of nonsense. But they're fine right now. We maintain that good enough is what we strive for. Now, assembler. Let me check to see if you're what I need. Actually, oh, if I can do it by just looping it back here, I'll need more iron, I think, because I need to make modular frames. So let's see. This wants 30 steel beams, so that is good, be just enough. So it wants 2.5 modular frames. So one of these overclocked. Like, if I do this... Oh, shoot, that'll even be 3. I don't even need that. I need this. So if I can get 15 iron rods per minute and 3.75 reinforced iron plate per minute, which will take... Hold on. What was it? 3.75? Yeah, so this will do it. If I just have this fully overclocked, because why not? One of these would be sufficient. Let me see here. Let me just make some notes for myself real quick. So 3 modular frame out of 1 assembler. We'll take 4.5 reinforced iron plates. It'll also take 18 iron rods. Alright. Reinforced iron plates get 3.5. Will take us 30 iron plates. This will be 1 assembler. 30 iron plates, and then 60 screws. And that's all going to be in constructors. So 30 iron plates is going to take 2 constructors. Or 1 overclocked constructor, actually. So 1 constructor plus 1 will give me 30 iron plates for 45 iron ingots, which is going to be 45 iron ore. The screws are going to take, let's see. So constructor plus 1 to get 60 screws will take 15 iron rods. Then iron rods, I would get... Let's see, I would need a total of 20, 32? No, 33. So let's see. So I can do that with a constructor plus 3. That'll take me 30. We'll just round up to 30. We'll have it split. 37.5 iron ingots, which take 37.5 iron ore. We'll go ahead and just mark that off on our notes for the screws there. Now these are not going to stay here, so I might not have room for these because I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things in this chain, plus a smelter, which I haven't even looked at yet. I need copper to be able to gauge that. So we're going to go grab some copper wire. And honestly, most of this production is probably going to happen away from that platform anyway. It might just feed into that platform from a distance. Because, I need materials that aren't present immediately in that spot, so... Let's see here. The final assembler will probably be there at least, but like smelter and constructors will probably be off-site. But we need to check smelter. I think. I mean, what do I need? It's 1-to-1, so let's see. So I need a total of let's see, 45 and 37.5. So 82.5. 3 for 5. So I could overclock this if I wanted to try to reach 82. I can't quite do that, but one will get me 75, and then a second one. Whoops. A second one would get me 30. But if I'm doing that, I might as well just do... Please take that out. Why is this being like this? So I can do 60. Once I can do... go ahead and mark this in my notes. It's X. So it'll be 2... Let's see. 1... Constructor 1, constructor plus 1. So that'll be a total of 5 constructors, 2 assemblers. All right, so let's see what we can fit here, because these would need to feed into an assembler. We will push it kind of to the edge here. There we go. Is that in line? It is not, but I can see where it needs to be now. I think I remember. I wish I didn't feel the need to do this. Hi, bud. How's it going? I did it wrong again. All right. So this final assembler would have the versatile framework, which will take these steel beams. So I can... It's going to be doing... So I can just do a merger, some Mark 1 belts, because these are each putting out 15 per minute, so that is sufficient. And it doesn't give me a ton of walking room, but we can do this to have a space to get through. So I'll start feeding those into there. So that is the first, the final assembler. Now, the next stage is going to be an assembler and a constructor that will need to be roughly side by side. The assembler, you need to be further back. Hold on. I'm not even looking at the... Okay, so I need a different assembler. I skipped a step. That assembler was extra. This assembler will just need to feed into that. This will be the modular frames, which will do 2. Hold on. 2.5. So this... Oh, shoot. Did I completely represent this? No, I didn't. I just didn't mark it in my notes that this was an assembler +1. So this will be like this. That's first assembler out of the way. We might just expand the platform back. Just have kind of a floating section that is will only exist for the time that we have the this extra production line, because the all of this stuff is excess. This stuff will probably stay and be repurposed, but this stuff is all just for these versatile frameworks. So we need a normal assembler, which we will go ahead and put back here, giving it enough room to properly feed into there. This will be reinforced iron plates, which is sufficient. That'll make 5, so we can go ahead and just use a basic one. Next to that, we will need a constructor. This will be our constructor +3 for the 18 iron rods. Hold on. No, this won't be right here. No, yeah, it will, because... No. Hold on. This needs to feed both. Not both anything. Yeah, this needs to feed the screws as well as the modular frame. So this will be back further. Maybe we'll do it like this. We'll back from here. Why did I want to put these next to each other? That's yeah, this is going to be all the iron rods. So maybe we can make this work. This is kind of some nonsense already. We're going to do this as a way to get the screws. Hold on, I made this way too complicated. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I need to figure this stuff out. Maybe I start from the back instead of starting from the front. God, this is what I get for putting them into a single building. Figure out what we need you for later. So this would need to be a constructor plus 3. Doing iron rods. Because we need this to put out a lot. Let's start with our iron plates here. So we're going to need a constructor plus 1 for the iron plates, and screws will be a whole thing. This is going to put out 5. So what we do, get a splitter, and we're going to have another constructor facing the opposite direction. This feeds into like this. This will be... Oh, this is making iron rod, so this needs to make 60 screws. And our screws are going to need a constructor plus 1. So it'll take 15, it'll make 60. And our screws will go into our reinforced iron plates. All 60 of them. So this will be getting its screws, so now it'll need its iron plates. Can we fit a constructor under there? No, we cannot, but we can throw it back here. This will be iron plates, which need a constructor plus 1. So it'll be feeding out 30, so the Mark 1's good. This is going to be putting out 37, so the Mark 1's are fine. This is feeding rods right into this, which is Fine. Okay, so our rods... Okay, so it was a immediate nightmare for me, but I figured out what I'm doing. This is going to need iron ingots, which means it's going to be a smelter is going to feed into this. Let's see. Iron plates. Sorted. So now we just need our iron ingots, which there's going to be... this needs 45. And our rods need, just double checking, our rods need 37.5. 37.5 plus 45, just because I'm dumb. 82. So if I can get at least 82, which, as long as it's at least a normal iron node, I should be able to get 120. Why would my iron ingot need a constructor? It needs smelters. So let's assume my notes make sense. It's going to need 45 and 30. I need like 80 something, so just +1 both of these. I did that wrong in my notes, so that's a thing. So we will, let's see. So we're each doing 45 now, so I can just, hold on. This needs 37. That needs 30. Oh, this needs 45. This is doing 45, so this can feed right into this one. I'm going to try to keep it neat. It's not much of a passage, but it is a way to walk through. That's ridiculous. Why am I doing this? All right. This is when people talk about spaghetti. That's what's happening here. Now, I think the reason I'm doing it here is because I think we had more iron over yonder. So what we'll go ahead and do is put a splitter, which will do 45 to each of these. All right, and then we just connect our input there. Once we have our actual station set up. And we're going to need power. So we will connect as many of these to this one, and then we'll probably just have to set up a second power line. I think that's all the buildings, so be good. Now we go find our iron, which I think will be just up this hill. But you know what? Ah, yeah, it's right there. So we're also going to have to build us some materials to make the actual miner. We'll try to finish this out, and then I think that'll be uh, on the hour. We'll go ahead and call it, but we've got a couple minutes here. We'll try to finish this out real quick. And then we should be all set for this production line to actually do what it needs to do. I'm gonna have to fight some hogs probably, or spitters. I think I called the stingers spitters earlier. But they are stingers, they're the bugs. Which I use the arachnophobia mode because this is on stream. So I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable or anything like that, so all right, and then this miner needs to bring out 120, so Mark 2. Mark 2, please. Now this is going to be a little janky looking. That's going the wrong way? Did I really? Did I truly? I did. I've done it wrong. I need this to feed from here. You connect to there. And then this, we'll go ahead and do that. Mark 2, please. Mark 2, please. Mark 2. All right, that atrocious monstrosity. Whoops, don't need that. This disgusting monstrosity will work. This spaghetti factory that I've somehow managed to keep a walkway through. Oh, I missed the, hold on. Why no power? Oh, because I forgot to connect this. Let's go ahead and disconnect this wire. Connect that to this one. And then this to this. All right. Now it's going. Just about on the hour as well. We've kind of nailed the timing a little bit. I just want to go through and make sure. Like, I want to see it get to the end of the production line and make sure that we have enough output for everything. So we're going to wait here a minute while this goes. While we're waiting on that, we can actually connect it to the end point. This thing isn't yet getting its screws. Those are coming in now. And this should have just enough screw production that it is just meeting its needs. Several of the machines are set up precisely like that. Some of them are overachievers. Yeah, this is definitely getting enough plates and appears to be getting enough screws. As it is kind of building a bit of a backlog there every time. Actually just cutting it with the screws. So this will need more iron plates before it gets going. I forgot to connect its actual thing. All right, so I want to make sure if the end of the production line is meeting its efficiency, then that means everything before it should be meeting its efficiency. So let's see how this goes. I think we might have it. If it gets one more before this finishes, then we're good. There it is. There's 2 modular frames, and that will get this started. Now this should be able to do 2 cycles before it gets more modular frames. So there's one. And if we see those other 2 modular frames move into the machine around the time this finishes, then that means this is good too, which it absolutely should be. And there they are. And at the rate that that's going, because the modular frames are producing at a higher than this needs, this would actually back up on modular frames, which is perfectly fine. We are okay with that. Cool. So, that is about all we set out to do this time. Again, keeping with the idea of if we need a thing, we will build a production line for it. That way, when we get to the later stages of the game, we have production lines for everything that comes before. Every part that is required for a milestone or for a phase will have a production line. The phases won't be kept. They'll only be kept as long as they're needed, but otherwise, everything else will have a permanent production line. So far, we are doing pretty well. Almost complete with phase 2. Everyone who has been watching, anyone who is lurking, anybody checking out the VOD on YouTube after the fact, thank you guys so much for coming by. I appreciate you each and every one, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, have a good one.